Vici Gaming were playing a bounty hunter on FY, and he had like 0 game impact. I think he didn't even get an assist that game. Maybe he got 1. And in total, EG, I think, died 3 times that game. So their approach to dealing with Bounty Hunter is they take tanky or elusive cores, and then they couple them with Treant. There's no lane for Bounty Hunter to gank. You can't kill Quap, she just blinks. You can't go on the Darkseer, he's innately tanky and gets living armor. Spirit Breaker is a tanky support, you can't do that either. Then they pick the Razor, another tanky hero, and they just farm up key items and try to limit the number of track kills the enemy team can get. The moment Bounty Hunter doesn't find any ganks early, his level 6 gets delayed, and then when he finally gets it, EG will usually have all the key items they need to just out-tank the opponent in teamfights in the mid-game. So I like their draft a lot. That said, though, CDEC with extreme comfort picks for them. I guess the slightly out of the ordinary for them is the Witch Doctor that I think we haven't seen them play that much to my memory, but it is one of Q's best heroes, so they're still feeling comfortable, I think.
Well, let's see how this one pans out. Of course, EG, they need to win this game if they want to avoid being knocked down to the lower bracket by CDEC. I mean, game 1, both teams playing very, very high-level Dota 2, but at the end of the day, it was just a kind of a few key decisions that EG kind of messed up on, and the CDEC was straight in through the open door and were able to capitalize on it and find the win.
Looks like this time around it's going to just be no fighting for the root.
The battle begins.
Top room's going to go to Samel, and bottom room's going to go to Shiki. And this is going to be an interesting mid matchup because usually what we've seen in this tournament is that when you put Lina against Queen of Pain, it's slightly Lina favored, and Bounty Hunter will want to rotate. But oh, okay, that's a really good start for CDC actually removing that obscure ward. He doesn't tango the sentry. He plays it safe here, and that's actually going to allow ppd to take that one out. But this mid lane has a little bit of a difference compared to what we've usually seen. There's the living armor factor, which often decides mid lanes. Samel can play a lot more aggressively because Shiki on Lina does not have any multi-damage instance abilities. That means the living armor will be
Bottom lane, bringing a bit aggressively onto Aoi. Aoi dropping now down to half health. Needs to be careful here. Living armor will save him for the time being. The Maledict, it might just be enough here. Yes, it is. Q with the first blood. CDEC there with the tri-lane. Very nicely securing the kill onto ISP.
Perfect ice shards. AUI was in a horrible position, and actually, I think starting out by skilling Greater Bash in this lane where you're playing a 2-on-3, I think it's a little bit too aggressive. You have to play it safer and have charge, and then try to focus on the other lanes, maybe ganking Shiki with living armor. You could go for some really aggressive plays. I know, you want to put pressure if you can, but the risk reward here not really favoring the Spirit Breaker, who would have probably lived with a Stout Shield, by the way. He does not have that just yet on the support role. And he's doing a very, very long walk down to this bottom lane. They might just put Universe jungle. He doesn't have a single point of experience either. This off lane for EG is starting out horribly.
So will they be able to find their mid lane at the moment? Sumail versus Shiki, 6 for 4 against the 3 for 3. So Sumail actually doing all right in this matchup that, I mean, as the analysts were saying, would not necessarily favor the Quap in the early stages, but Sumail at the moment playing it very nicely. Top lane, pressure coming in from Fear. He's starting to get some damage up the towers with a static link onto XZ. Just taking 14, but that's going to help Fear continue to farm here and slowly apply pressure on this lane. Not a lot that the bounty can do to slow down that push at this point.
But he's going to get a lot of levels, and this might have been CDEC. So wait, so who had the overall last pick? It was CDEC, right? After the Treant. They might have changed their game plan because they realized, okay, when there's a Treant on the enemy team, the chance our Bounty Hunter can roam and kill early is really minimal. So instead, we're going to accelerate the rate at which we get track a hell of a lot by playing it in the off lane and just getting another support, which they got in the Witch Doctor. I do believe that was the draft order.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Witch Doctor was the final pick indeed from CDEC. I mean, lane just continuing to trade hits between the two of them, Sumail and Shiki. Now evening off here in terms of CS. And bottom lane as well, PL, finding a lot of room, 13 for 8. The fact that, of course, we saw Darkseer leave for the jungles made that lane a little bit easier, as it is just the Spirit Breaker holding up the off lane. So, I mean, both off laners are going to find this solo XP. And ppd just hanging around here, making sure that nothing happens against Fear on his Razor. Of course, we saw Fear on the Razor the first game, getting a lot of pressure. Mid lane, Shiki looking for the light strike, is going to miss Sumail, manning up. Will be able to blink out just at the last moment, as Tuss did move in as well. So Sumail's got to be careful here. Bottle is on his way out, and couldn't have come at a better time here. Sumail is going to need that to regen himself back.
Yeah, Shiki gets his as well, though, so this is pretty much dead even in the mid lane right now.
One lane, Aoi going forward onto aggressive, but Q's there, gets the Maledict off. Now with the doppelganger forward as well. Aoi's going to tick down fairly low here. won't quite pop. But again, just harassing back this Spirit Breaker, and now we're starting to see, I'd imagine, quite a big level deficiency between him and the Bounty. Yeah, he's level 2, Bounty Hunter's level 4.
There is the jungle tanker though. If CDEC don't...
Oh, Fear maintains the static link here now with the leech seed going forward onto XZ. XZ trying to get himself out of this. The plasma field will do it though. Fear gets himself the kill there.
And it's really interesting to see ppd skill build in this game, going for 2 points in the leech seed, probably with that exact purpose in mind. Getting the kill on the safe lane. I think like 90% of Treant games right now we see getting 1 point in leech seed, you max living armor and you max nature's guys, and you like become a walking scouting support. But this time, more of an aggressive approach from him to secure that kill.
Maui moving forward, just going to be able to scout out Garda here on the sidelines. Lane continue to even out in the mid between the Quap and the Lina. 18-6, 16-6. The bottom lane though, PL finding a lot of fun. 28 last hit, 17 denies at the moment. And you can certainly see why SB is missing out on a lot of that XP. Now he just finding in the sidelines. Tusk was looking for him. Now he's just going to be able to soak up the levels. And looks like Darkseer heading back to base. How's Universe doing in terms of the jungle Darkseer? Let's have a look. He's managed to find himself level 4. He's got himself the Soul Ring as well, so Universe will be able to continue to farm quite reliably 5 minutes in. His ping's coming out. They've realized that SB's hiding there. Witch Doctor rotated towards the mid lane. Shiki now closing in on that level 6. At the same time, Sumail will hear it as well, so Sonic Wave is now available if he wishes to try and go for a kill, but it's actually Shiki that's got a backup as XZ is moving towards the mid lane. Sumail's got to be a bit careful here. Looks like XZ's going to look for the wraparounds, man. Needs to be careful with the Tusk initiation, but he really should be fine. Unless they can get the chain stun out onto the Quap, it's going to be quite hard for CDEC to find this kill. XZ's just going to be able to sap some of this XP from Universe as he spots out the Darkseer. And he's looking for the Courier Snipe here, XZ. Moving in between the towers. REG going to be on top of this. Oh, it's got the bottle on. It's got the bottle on. This is big if XZ can get it. A second hit will do it. That's the bottle down. XZ there. With what feels like the first Bounty Hunter successful Courier Snipe we've seen in a while, because a lot of the times the teams are able to avoid it, but EG just getting caught off guard there, and that's a big win there for the mid lane.
This is way less predictable than your classic 2-minute, the bottle is flying out Courier Snipe from support Bounty Hunter. This is an offlane bounty going off the map at level 5. However, you know, if Universe was playing very close attention, he could have called that he didn't get full experience there, and that could have told them where the bounty was, and then maybe Sumail plays that one differently, but it's very difficult to see that one coming from XZ, and he realizes that, that's why he goes for it. Big play.
Yeah, I guess the saving grace, of course, the fact that they do have ppd, of course, on that Treant, so the living armor will be there to help out Sumail here in the mid lane. Shiki backing up, just clearing up these creep camps as well as he reaches level 7. Still has that Laguna Blade ready to go if he catches anyone out like Sumail. Top lane Tusk just starting to soak up the solo XP, trying to make his way towards that level 6 here, Garda. Get that Warrior's Punch online, but 7 minutes in, just 1-1. Again, a pretty passive early stage between these two teams. There's no one really looking to go too aggressive. Universe actually going to come down here. Aui's still hiding in the trees, has found a fair bit of XP. And we're actually going to lose Witch Doctor. So here's Roos is looking for the XP in the mid lane, but Sumail finds himself a solo kill there with the Sonic Wave.
It's really important for EG to find kills because they're actually getting out-farmed very much. They've drafted this lineup that's difficult for the Bounty to gank, and CDEC have just shifted their lanes and just put Bounty off lane. They're free-farming the PL safe lane. Their mid lane Lina is doing fine as well, actually completely out-farming Sumail. They were going toe-to-toe and she just took over. He's got 50 CS to the 33 of Sumail, so very rarely do we see him losing on farm. I'm not sure how many creeps Lina found in the jungle. I think some of them were a stack.
And of course, worth noting for CDEC the fact that they did have XZ on this offlane bounty. Now with that track online at a very early time, just 8 minutes in, he's going to be able to start getting out across the map. Fizz actually moved down here to the bottom lane. He's level 7. And he's also got 2 of the members of EG nearby, both Aui and Universe here on the bottom lane. Sumail continue to farm mid, but the net worth, as we can see individually, favoring the side of CDEC. It is aggressive here at the top of the farm board, so CDEC having a much stronger time in lane than they did in game 1. And we saw, of course, even off the back of that, CDEC are able to take that game. So EG, they've got a few things to worry about at this point early on, 8.5 minutes in.
Yeah, they're rotating down Fear just to challenge aggressive. They realize they can't just let him free farm forever. He got 8 minutes of free farm, which I think is more than he probably should have in this game. Need to solve that problem.
Radiant's
so ppd now
bottom
is level
tower
6,
is
by
under
the way.
attack.
Very early level 6 on Treant, so that's the good news for EG. ppd usually hitting that until 2-digit.
Radiant's middle tower
Minutes.
is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Fortified in the middle lane. So Mel is
Dire's
looking to
top
just keep
tower
putting
is
on the
under
pressure
attack.
here. As long as Lina is off the lane,
Dire's
he
structures
rules
are
that mid lane
fortified.
easily. And Shiki has, of course, shown himself in the top. Living Armor is keeping the tower safe easily as well.
And with the backup of, well, 3 of them up here, CDEC may very well look to push down that tier 1. Bottom lane,
Dire's
they're just
top
getting
tower
forced back
is under
as
attack.
Aggressive has returned to the lane. Fear's on his own now. Just going to look to spam out the wave of the
Radiant's middle
illusions.
tower is under attack.
Mid lane, Sumail just continuing to apply this pressure. Going to see XZ wrap around towards the mid. Those arcanes now complete. Getting those tracks out. And it is in
Dire's
fact
top
Aoi
tower
here,
is under
hanging
attack.
between the tier 1 and the tier 2. Maybe looking to see if he can find a charge. He has got Dust here. If he feels that there's going to be the opening to go on to XZ when XZ reveals himself. And Q still hasn't yet found his level 6 in the Death Ward. Only a couple more creeps and he will have that ultimate online. Same story here with Garda. Not quite got the level 6, but there's going to be an Invis rune top. Looks like they'll let it go into the bottle of Shiki here as he moves in. And he's still got this Laguna Blade. We're yet to see Shiki be able to find a pick off here with the ultimate. And Aoi's still just hanging around in the tree line here.
Radiant's
Just waiting
bottom
for an
tower
opening of
is
some
under
sort. They're actually
attack.
going to smoke up, but oh, straight away, Howie does dispel it here. They know he's there. He's just going to charge out, realizes that CDEC are going to be onto him, and gets himself out of there.
And this puts Aggressive in a really problematic situation. It's going to force a TP here as well.
He's going in now. Double going to avoid the charge. Shiki's TP'd in. He's going to look for the Laguna. Will find it. Howie's going to go down. And now CDEC will be able to find more snowball forward. Universe searching himself. One of the Ocean still trap him in. They go. ppd turn into the fight though. They're trying to turn it. They're getting the paralyzing curse onto it. Shuriken bouncing between them all and they'll lose the tusk. So they finally kill him in turn. Death Ward's been laid down. Now EG on the retreat. Tracks are going out. Fear surged away. There'll be the blink out from Sumail. They're still tracked up. Can they move in onto the Shiki? Looking for a stun. Oh, he's going to find it. Oh, catches Sumail. And they will find the Queen again. CDEC reacting very nicely there to the aggression of EG.
Dire's
And Aggressive
middle tower is under
stays
attack.
alive throughout it all. Very nicely played there by the Radiant.
I'm very surprised AUI chose to go through with that charge. They must have realized that after that smoke broke and he is getting in behind the tower on a PL, CDEC are going to go for defensive TPs, and he
Radiant's
just got
top
into a really
tower
awkward
is under
situation where he
attack.
dies immediately. And he is very important for the team fight. Even though he's not level 6, he's supposed to tank up damage while his allies are nearby. So in turn, they can deal damage back. And he just actually died doing more or less nothing. He forced out a doppelganger, and that was it. And Sumail was never using the Sonic Wave there. CDEC did a good job spreading out. Sumail wanted to go for it, but never really had a good line or a good kill there. And he gets tracked and can't really play around in the jungle.
And the Treant goal favouring the side of CDEC off the back of those fights as well. EG have to be very careful about these skirmishes that they take. Now grouping up
Dire's middle
Sumail
tower
with
is
the
under
Sonic
attack.
Wave. He'd love to find some kind of pick-off. And pings are coming out to the top lane, but Tusk, he's already TP'd out there. Heads towards the mid. There's this observer here, so Sumail does see the Witch Doctor head up to the high ground. Also the Sentry, I believe, did catch out Axie here on the Bounty Hunter. They're going to head up. Axie is actually moving down towards them. There's a Sentry on the river, so he needs to be careful where he goes. Next, he's going to walk straight under it. How are we going into the dash? They should be able to find the kill. Sonic Wave comes out, they'll get it. Now they're trying to look for the return, though. CDEC going in with the snowball and finds onto ppd, gets the overgrowth off. Now the Death Ward laid down, they'll find ppd. Aoi with the chance of Shiki. Shiki gets the Laguna off onto Sumail. Now CDEC on the back. Aoi trying to find the matches, he'll get it. The only chance to come out. Aoi's going to go for it. The wall's being dropped. Q's still alive, finally goes down into the illusions. And it is just a 2 for 2, but the fact that Sumail gets himself a double kill. They're trying to go for more here, EG.
Is under attack.
Looks like they're going to change their mind. Don't want to dive too deep. But again, just a flat-out 2 for 2 trade here between the sides. Again, proving to be a very even game, just slightly favouring the side of EG that fight. And well, 13 minutes in. Again, we're seeing a very, very close game of Dota. Queen playing now with 1700 gold. I mean, what does Sumail go for first in this game? Does he go straight for the Yules, the Axe, or what's he picked up now? Is that the Staff? That's the
Looks
point.
like an axe.
Straight up axe. Okay.
But more importantly right now for Sumail, he needs to hit these screams. I think we've had 2 fights in a row now for EG where he's missing scream on key targets. That fight could have been way better if he got the scream on the... He hit 1 target instead of 2, and you could see he was walking in to try to get both, and he was just outranged by one of them. The fight is completely different, because that would have been a way swifter kill, and maybe they could have come out ahead. And the same happened on the bottom lane. He tried to get a scream into Sonic Wave, and the scream didn't reach, and then he didn't use the Sonic Wave either. It's just, and we're talking like 10 or 15 range is how little he's missing it by. But it doesn't matter if you miss it by 200 or 10 range, it's still a miss. They have to land. They need all the damage they can do right now, because CDEC are taking the fight to them. And EG have drafted a lineup that don't have very much burst damage, so Sumails has to come in, because the rest of the heroes are doing damage over time more than anything. Apart from maybe a perfect plasma field from Fear. They're more reliant on Ion Shell to get the damage done.
Talking about the Darkseer universe now has the mech complete. We're seeing yours being picked up from Shiki on this Lina, and she's also level 11 here as well. So we've got that extra bit of burst here with that Laguna if they can catch some of that. Drum's now done on
Dire's
Fear.
bottom tower
15 minutes
is
in.
under attack.
Still a very close game between these two sides, and still a very tense one as well. This game meaning a lot for both of these teams, so understandably both playing it very, very carefully at this point, not wanting to give anything away across the map.
I mean, it's more understandable for CDEC right here, because they know they have such a good late game to deal, and they know he's getting
Snowball on the top lane, TV's coming in with CDEC as well. They want to try and fight this ppd. He's going to get caught out here with the Archeon, the Shuriken coming out as well. And now with the light strike, oh, beautifully catching two. Laguna onto ppd, now with the death board. But it's actually Sumail's turn up with the Sonic Wave, will find the kill onto Witch Doctor. Now aggressive on the TV, Laguna trying to find Miriam onto Finn, the Shuriken as well. Finn, he's still alive, he will, this is the illusion, the animality gets him in the end. Now the Yule's holding Sumail in place, they're going to look for a forfeit. Will be able to get his blink up, and now it's Owie that's going to be the attention of CDEC coming in onto him, and they'll get it as well. 4 heroes down on EG, CDEC only losing the Witch Doctor. The TP's come out, the track gold as well, a huge gold swing off the back of that one. CDEC again reacting incredibly nicely to the plays and the coming out from EG. And they're going to get a tier 1 off the back of this as well, Sin.
They just got a full mech on Bounty from that fight, I think. He has the Arcane Boots and 1500 gold and a headdress, so when this goes down, that's going to make the EG fight so much harder.
Top tower has
Should most definitely be buying that up right now.
Radiant's middle
they get a
tower
tower.
is under attack.
Aggressive doesn't die. He gets kills and assists. And in my opinion, EG's lineup does not counter PL at all in the late game. Like, they have Sonic Wave, that's it. So this is very worrying. If they can't avoid these Bounty Hunter track kills from coming out in the early game, which was the sole purpose of their draft, of course anticipating him in a support position, if that doesn't work, then their mid-late game strategy, I think, will just not work either.
I think you pretty much spelled it out with the fact that the PL aggressive is able to find himself in all of these, well, 5 of the kills so far. Yeah, the track god as well, really racking up for the PL, and he's going to be able to start building towards his next item. Potentially the diffusal blade on top of the box, the drums and the Achilles, looking incredibly rich. 8,000 net worth on him at the moment. A good, well, pretty much 3,000 ahead of Fear's Razor. Just 17 minutes in after that fight. CDEC backing up. They're going to let aggressive return to farming on this bottom lane. Fear will clear out this ancient stack here on the Razor. Trying to get himself back into this game, but it's again definitely CDEC with the stronger position at the moment. 1500 now on your PL. I mean, does he go straight for the diffusal here, or are we looking at just the Asher to continue to help him farm?
I think he gets diffusal. It's the standard build from aggressive, and it's extremely good against Darkseer. You can remove Surge. He will be able to purge Overgrowth as well. He's interested in that. It just maximizes his fighting output, and they want to fight, I think. Even though they could sit back and farm a bit, they have the Bounty Hunter and they're looking for trades whenever possible. And because of these Boots of Travel from aggressive, he can just farm at the same time, and Diffusal isn't a bad farming item either. So the stats on it are pretty good, and he is indeed going to buy it. He almost has it now while farming the jungle. EG are really, really scared of moving across the river. So they could be caught at any point in time. And that just means aggressive farms his own jungle for free.
Understandably so as well, aggressive. Now just a few hundred gold away from that completed diffusal blade. 18 minutes in as well. This PL is incredibly stacked for this point of the game. This is a real issue for the side of EG. Samael has nearly got his Aghanims complete though on the Queen of Pain. He's just a couple of hundred and will have that done. Shiki himself on the Lina after the Yules. About halfway on the road to his. ppd just hiding here. He's going to be fine though. We'll just get the invis out in time before they pass by. Well, I think he's actually coming
Radiant's
out.
bottom tower
They know that
is under
ppd's
attack.
about. And the dust won't quite catch ppd. Just out of range. But it's definitely worth trying to go for that one. A spot out fair here, we'll lay down the track. ppd's actually coming around the back as well. He does have an overgrowth, but there's no tier 1 for the side of EG to TP into. So it's going to be very hard for EG to fight into CDEC whilst they've got
Radiant's
4 heroes
bottom
down
tower
here.
has been denied.
And that's your defusal now, picked up by Aggressive. So we've already seen how much he wants to fight. He's going to want to do so even more now. Samael just blinking himself away as a TP does come in from the Lina. Needs to be very careful that he doesn't get himself caught out by the Yule Scepter, because at this point, if Queen gets caught out by the Yule's Light Strike, there's not lots that Samael can do to stay alive after that. That huge amount of burst damage that's going to come out from the lineup of CDEC.
What do we got coming for EG? So it looks like Fear
Dire's
is
middle
working on a
tower is under
BKB.
attack.
I would guess it's either a BKB or an Axe with this Ogre Club. He might just be keeping his options open. But Darkseer, 50 gold away from Blink. I think that's a go call, honestly. You have to try to find a big team fight now with a Blink into Sonic Wave and Scream, because if they just sit back and let CDEC farm, they should know right now that
Dire's
they're...
middle tower is
Oh,
under
there's going to be the
attack.
TP in from Aggressive. He's coming as the tier 1. He knows that they want to fight here. Shiki moving in, will find the Yules onto Howie here. They're going to set this up for the start. Howie is going to try and TP away, set it up and charge away. He's not even going to get the chance to do so now with the War Spawn on Easy Fear. They're going to look for more to do that. We'll get a mech off. The wall's been dropped, but it doesn't matter. Fear's going to go down. The Universe is going to look to search himself away, but Aggressive is due to acing him down with the Fusion away. Sonic Wave comes out, but it doesn't matter. Universe to fall. ppd just having to get himself out of there with Samael. The track onto Samael, they're going to continue to chase this down. They've got the vision on ppd here with the track down as well. ppd in trouble. They'll get themselves a 4th kill. Samael, the only last man standing there for each. Is that it? That's it. 20 minutes in, CDEC, they're into the grand finals. They've done it. They've knocked down EG to the lower bracket and CDEC. What a series, what a winner bracket final for them. Absolute textbook performance from them.
And I can
Wow.
I can understand they're calling the GG there,
Yeah.
because ppd had a game plan in mind.